Okay, I'm opening this episode with a disclaimer. Do not repeat what I am doing. I know my tolerance levels, and I know that this is within them. Make sure you know your tolerance levels and stay within them. Otherwise, you're just going to have a really shitty time. What's up, everyone? I'm Andy, and this is Brain Buzz. Don't worry, Brain Buzz didn't suddenly turn into a cooking show. I'm just preparing my nachos because today is my edibles episode. And no, the nachos aren't the edibles. These are the edibles. Today, I'm specifically having 150 milligrams of edibles, so I thought maybe it would be unwise to use a sharp knife while under the influence. Come in close and look at this package. So today I'm looking at the THC Sour Squares by Mota. Mota is a gray market brand because in Canada you legally cannot sell more than 10 milligrams of edibles. These come in at 150 milligrams total. They are 10 milligrams per square and 15 of them per bag. On the back, it says that this is a hybrid extract. There are some directions here, but I'd advise you to ignore these. I will give you some directions in a little bit. And it says it was made in Canada and lab tested, so that's reassuring. I'm going to have the entire bag, of course. That is within my limits. If you don't know your limits, always start with 10 milligrams and work your way up. So, I'm going to open this bag and start eating these gummies. And as I do so, I'll be preparing my supper, of course, and I'll come back and tell you what these taste like, how you might use the edibles, what I use them for. Pull all of these out onto the counter here. Look at these. There's one more in here, stuck. There you go. 15 of them. So I'll have all 15, and then I'll tell you about the effects as we go. Each of these are a different flavor, actually. I wasn't expecting that. Usually they're all the same flavor. These are shockingly good gummies. I'm not sure if I'll be able to tell what each of these flavors are, but I think this was watermelon. Can't really tell for sure. Gonna move these gummies up here so that I'm not including them into the nachos. So finding your limit is actually pretty easy with gummies like these. Because each of these are 10 milligrams, it allows you to start low and increase by 10 milligram increments. I recommend you try a dose, wait a full 24 hours. If it didn't do anything for you, try 2 and wait a full 24 hours. Don't increase in the same day. It's just not going to help you out. I think the pink ones are strawberry, by the way. Now, I mentioned that you should probably wait a full 24 hours before increasing your dosage. The reason I say that is because it takes about 24 hours to fully get the THC out of your system when you have an edible. Now, depending on your metabolism, it may be sooner, it may be later. But I guarantee you, if you have a significant amount of edibles, the next day you're going to feel a little bit sluggish in the morning, because that THC is still in your system. It'll take a little while before it clears out. Now, nothing is really going to happen if you have too much THC other than potentially passing out, so be careful. But otherwise, you're just going to have an unpleasant time. When you find the right amount, it can be very enjoyable. But the second you go over that amount, it goes south pretty fast. Now, it's not like you're going to be rocking in the corner, seeing nightmares, but you're just not going to feel great. I personally find my breathing is affected in that scenario. I find I feel just like I can't move. And that's just not a great experience. 4 to go. If you're going to use gummies for your mental health, I think it's important to find the right microdose. So in that scenario, you're not trying to get loopy or feel anything. Really, all you're trying to do is just take the edge off and stay there. The advantage of edibles, of course, being that they stay in your system for a very, very long time. So if you're used to having 1 or 2 puffs to take the edge off, and you have to do that hourly, with an edible, you would have maybe 1 gummy, and it would last 6, 7, 8 hours. So there's the advantage in that you don't have to keep using it. It certainly doesn't hurt your lungs nearly as much. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily great for mental wellness, specifically because you have no control over the strains. Most of these edibles don't list what this was extracted from. Some of them don't even say sativa, hybrid, or indica, so you don't really know what you're getting. So once you find a brand that you like, that works for you, stick with it. Going off and venturing and trying all these different cannabis extracts could lead you to have bouts of anxiety or other issues. So be careful. If you do end up having too much THC, you probably will have a pretty unpleasant experience. From experience, I'll say, despite feeling queasy at times, I've never thrown up. So you may feel like you're going to be sick, but chances are you won't. If you have too much, the best thing to do is really just curl up in a bed and ride it out. So, last gummy, and then I'll tell you about the effects. Okay, it's been a little over an hour. I made my nachos and ate my nachos. They were delicious. Pro tip, if you're looking to increase the effects, have a meal. It helps increase your metabolism and pushes everything through your bloodstream so you feel the effects that you're supposed to. What are those effects? Well, they're fairly mild, to be perfectly honest, especially considering I had 150 milligrams. It mostly started with a head buzz. That kind of went down to my sinuses, so now my sinuses are a little bit blocked. And I have a little bit of head pressure, but nothing that I would call a headache. That went down into my body, so I felt a nice body buzz, some body numbing. I feel this is probably really great for pain relief. My legs feel numb and heavy. Other than that, it mellowed me a little bit and gave me a little bit of a slow motion effect, but nothing that I would consider debilitating in any way. I kind of feel like 150 milligrams for this edible was just the right amount for me. It mellowed me out without messing me up too much. So I can still function, but I know I have a little bit of pain relief and I've been mellowed a little bit. That's the ideal, to be perfectly honest. I'll be back again soon with 2 more of these edible talks. The next one is going to be 275 milligrams, and then I'm finishing it with 300 milligrams, which honestly is probably a little bit over my comfort zone, but we'll see what those effects are. See you then.